Welcome to the Horse Talk Show. Have you ever seen a horse who could talk? With your host, Louisa Barton, who really wants to be a famous rider. She really loves to ride fast. Presented by Peterson and Smith, Equine Hospital and Complete Care.
Truth is, I have horses with people problems.
Now here's the Brit on the bit, Louisa Barton. Enjoy the show.
Larsen Farms is our TV broadcast sponsor. Mr. Richard Larsen, a man of great integrity, cares about every single bale of hay and about taking care of his customers. He also has a huge heart for those genuinely in need. Larsen Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital. Thank you for joining us on the Horse Talk Show, presented by Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Thank you to Larsen Farms, they're our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
I'm Louisa Barton.
I'm Dancing Pete Rhoda.
And we are in the studio in the horse capital of the world, downtown Ocala. And we have a great lineup for you for the show tonight. In the first half, presented by Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care, we have Dr. Adam Cayot, and we are talking about cancer in horses. Also joining us, Chief Mike Balken from the Ocala Police Department to chat to us a little bit about the new mounted unit. And then in the second half of the show, presented by Palm Chevrolet, we have Angie, Tedder Crawford, and Betsy Bevaqua from Seminole Feed stores and Larsen Hay. We also have a little recap of a fantastic event we attended, the Iberian Horse Showcase. And we have some questions about Flynn the Mustang by Roslyn, the pet communicator. And then we're just going to wrap it up with our usual tips of the week for you. Should be a pretty good show. Pete, how was your week?
My week was great.
It's getting even better because tomorrow is Dancing Pete Rhoda's birthday.
Yay!
So we are celebrating him today on the show with cake, balloon, card, etc. But the best co-host around, Dancing Pete, happy birthday. We love you very much. You're amazing.
Thank you.
Amazing chap, even when you're taking the mickey.
Taking the mickey?
That's English for making fun of me.
Okay.
We do have some news and events to mention. Unfortunately, sadly, they have cancelled the Mounted Police Championships in January at World Equestrian Centre. January sounds like a long way away, but it really isn't. It's just a couple of months. And sadly, due to all the hurricane stuff that's happened between Helene and Milton across the entire southeastern United States, it has really affected first responders who have been working tirelessly to rescue and restore communities and lives throughout the region, and obviously that's taken a huge effect on their time and resources as well. So their sincerest hope is they'll reschedule the event in the future. Thoughts and prayers all going out to the families affected by the storms, but we do know first responders and second responders have been absolutely stretched to their limits in the last couple of months between the dreadful devastation that we've all kind of experienced in the middle of Florida and then in North Carolina, Tennessee and other regions. So it certainly does make sense and understandable, but we're sad to hear that's cancelled. It would have been a fun event, but hope we'll have that again in the future.
There went my calendar.
No, it's on mine too. The Horse Talk Show presents the Breeders' Cup World Championships 2024, folks. We cover the Ocala-Marion County connections to the most exciting and richest weekend in horse sports, in my opinion, and we're excited to bring that to you by Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care and Larsen Farms. Also thank you to the Equine Initiative, Piranha, Seminole Feed stores, Ocala Dog Ranch and the Equus TV network for helping us bring you this extra special broadcast. Now this is a broadcast in addition to the regular show, and this will air 3 to 4 times a day on the Equus TV network starting on the 24th of this month all the way through the 2nd of November. And for those of you who don't know what the Breeders' Cup World Championships is, it's a big deal because it's the culmination of racing for the year. It's 14 races, $33 million in purses in 2 days, and it's highly attended by horse people and not. It's as exciting as the Kentucky Derby may be for some people, and more exciting in the way that it often decides who Horse of the Year will actually be. Horses from all over the world will attend these races. They're on the turf and the dirt. The big two of the 14 are the Distaff and the Classic, and I would compare those to the Kentucky Oaks and the Kentucky Derby, because it's usually females in the Distaff and males in the Classic, although that doesn't mean females.
And for you laymen, I figured out how to explain this the best, would be Major League Soccer has big games, and then you have the World Cup. And to me, the World Cup is what the Breeders' Cup is.
Yeah, spot on, exactly.
Spot on.
That's exactly what it is, yes. And it's the Classic is a really tough race because there's a mixture of ages. You might have the horses that ran in the Derby, who would be 3 this year. And then you also might have 4 and 5 year olds running in the Classic against less experienced, less mature horses. So the Classic is a really big deal, and that's actually in the middle of the day instead of the end of the day.
And am I right? You can run it more than once. You can
Absolutely.
You can run it each year.
Last year's juvenile horse winner is running in this year's older horse races.
There you go.
So absolutely, yes, you can win. In fact, I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but there is a horse that has actually won 3 Breeders' Cup races. So you can keep going back and competing again in the older horse races.
So it's just like the World Cup.
Yeah, it's very exciting. It's a great weekend. We'll be there, of course, on site in the barns, trying to catch all the behind-the-scenes stuff for you that you don't see necessarily. You know, on the regular TV channels, you'll get to see lots of little behind the scenes running around in the barns, bath time, grooming, when they come back from the races, all that exciting stuff. So it should be a really good time. It's at Del Mar this year, and it's actually at Del Mar again next year. So we will be in California bringing all of that to you. But before we even leave, the broadcast will start airing on those local connections. That means the horse was either bred in Florida or it had its yearling to 2-year-old year training in one of the wonderful training centers that we have here. And I'm already up to like 65 local connections that are connected to these 14 races. So that's a lot, and it could grow over the next couple of days to a larger number than that.
So could Ocala get bigger than Kentucky? Or is it already?
As far as our training goes, we're killing it. We're doing really well. Now, I don't think we'll ever catch up with Kentucky on their breeding horses, because they do breed thoroughbreds there that are just second to none. I mean, incredible breeding programs they have there for thoroughbreds. But we know how to train them here, and we put that great start and foundation on them, and horse folks know that foundation is extremely important. Yes, and if it isn't done right, the horse doesn't have a good opportunity to have a great future career. Whether it goes on to another career after racing or it goes to the breeding shed, it's going to have a better life if it's had a better start. So we feel like our folks here deserve some hats off, or fascinators off, or whatever. We've got a couple of other things to mention in this segment. Boo Splash.
October 26th at 9 a.m. Costume contest with prizes. And it's an international dog sports at you-know-where, Ocala Dog Ranch.
The only place I would take my dogs. Second annual as well, Boo Splash. So should be some very cute costumes on some dogs. And, you know, people, get your costumes on too. You know how much I love a good costume.
A good costume.
Yes. The Piranha Family Foundation Golf Tournament is coming right up on November 8th. Very excited. My understanding it's sold out. But you could still be a sponsor, I believe. I think we're down to the wire, though, literally, excuse the pun. Going to be a great fun day, though. 7 a.m. check-in, 9 a.m. shotgun start. And then, of course, there'll be breakfast, lunch. And then in the evening, a live auction, gala, awards, and prizes, all going to 3 amazing charities.
And at the gala, there'll be...
dancing.
Yes. Okay, just making sure. I was invited to that part.
And Canines for Warriors, Heart of Florida Youth Ranch, and Gentle Carousel Miniature Therapy Horses are the wonderful 501c3s that all of the money from this event will go to. So
and last year they raised $30,000.
I know, it was amazing. Well done, Piranha Family Foundation.
Piranha.
We love you. You are wonderful, wonderful people. Got to wrap it up. We're coming right back with Dr. Adam Cayot talking about cancer in horses. Stay with us. This portion of the Horse Talk Show is brought to you by Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care, our television broadcast sponsor, Larsen Hay, Idaho's finest alfalfa, and supporting sponsors DAC Minerals and Vitamins, Seminole Feed Stores, Lip Chip, Piranha, Pat Myers Electric, Florida HVAC Services, and Ocala Dog Ranch. This show is brought to you in part by DAC Vitamins and Minerals of Florida. All horses need a solid immune system, excellent joint support, a healthy gut, and DAC has all the vitamins and minerals they need with the NASC stamp of approval. So like them on Facebook now or go to feeddac.com. DAC, it makes a world of difference.
Equestrian. It's not just a word but a title. It comes paired with hard work, discipline, and talent. LipChip is a company built by equestrians to make life at the barn a little easier. Introducing the Hoofling system, powered by LipChip, where a microchip becomes a secure key to unlock temperature, register for your next event, and keep track of required documents. Simply implant, scan, and unlock. Equestrians, the future is here, and the future is LipChip.
Nirvana, Ocala's premier medical spa, is leading the way in great skin with all the newest in treatment options, offering prejuvenation for younger clients and rejuvenation for all ages. Nirvana knows you want to look your very best, but we've all seen people with the telltale signs of too much work. We want you to look like you, just better, brighter and younger, with all the newest and best in technology and all in the most beautiful surroundings. Like Nirvana Medical Spa on Facebook and find them on the web at nirvanamedicalspa.com. Become a better, brighter and younger you. The team of professionals at Equifence of Florida specialize in equestrian fencing, offering great communication, quality fencing, and all done in a timely manner. Reliable service with horse safety in mind all the time. Also offering customized residential, vinyl, wood, aluminium, and chain link fences services. Equifence of Florida, quality fencing done right to keep your animals safe. For more information, find Equifence of Florida on Facebook now. The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the second segment of the Horse Talk Show presented by Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Thank you to Larsen Farms, our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
I'm Louisa Bart.
I'm Dancing Pete Rhoda.
And we have exciting news for you. It's almost time
for the Hobby Horse
Equestrian Games. It should be so much fun. Presented by AgPro and the Equine Industry Expo, presented by Advanced Staffing. And we are showing off our stick horses here because you need to make one, right?
November 22nd is the Equine Industry Expo, and November 23rd is the parade and the start of the games.
That's right. And the parade, presented by Pat Myers Electric, will have 60 to 70 different breeds of horses parading around the park at 10 a.m. following the national anthem. And then the games will begin. This is on the 23rd. Free admission for all, courtesy of our wonderful sponsors. And the highly sought after, legendary, wonkiest, weirdest, ugliest donkey is up for grabs.
We won't talk how I got ripped.
Grapes with Pete, by the way.
Yeah, I got ripped off.
Because he didn't win it last year.
I had the best idea. And Eric brought a dead cow. He did not bring a hobby horse.
A dead cow.
Yes, it was.
So anyway, if you want to win the ugliest, weirdest, wonkiest donkey, you just have to have the ugliest, weirdest, craziest looking stick horse of all at the end of the day, and we will be judging to find the winner. And it could be you, and you could take this highly sought after trophy home.
And you could also do the best one, the prettiest, and the best for corporate.
Yeah. So We got to get a little more serious and take it over to Dr. Adam Cayot now, so we're going to gallop off. Louisa Barton here for the Horse Talk Show with Dr. Adam Cayot from Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care, and we are going to talk about something that both in the horse world, the dog world, and the people world, we're facing a lot. And actually, a friend of mine years back told me that 1 in 2 people would have some form of cancer by 2010, and I think she was right. And we're definitely seeing a lot of that in horses as well. I have actually dealt with melanoma with a grey horse before. That was quite daunting. But talk to us about some of the cancers that you come across.
Well, the most common that you see, and part of the reason we see more is because horses are living longer, right? So they have more chance to develop these things. So the common things we see are melanoma in gray horse, where they get the lumps on their, typically around their tail head and around their anus and that sort of thing, and it can spread to other parts of their body. Around their face is where you typically see it first, and then squamous cell carcinoma, and then basal cell carcinoma can be other, the other typical ones that you see. Certainly squamous cell is typically seen on pink skin. Horses' paints are notorious for getting that around their eyes and around, those sorts of areas. I've had squamous cell in the back of a horse's throat before.
Really?
Yeah. So they can develop that anywhere, but typically it does appear on the pink-skinned areas. And then basal cell can happen anywhere as well, around the eyes, around the face, those sorts of things that you can see. Depending on, how severe it is, you can have them removed typically, and they're surgically excised. And depending on where it is, obviously the one in the back of the throat, that's kind of hard to handle. And number one, because you don't see anything back there. So by the time this horse, we figured out what was going on, it was kind of past the point of no return because you didn't see it and the horse didn't act abnormal or anything. So, certainly squamous cell and those sorts of things. If you have a horse in Florida that has pink skin around the eyes, paint around their sheath area, around the vulva or under their tail, pay attention to wounds that are there that just pop up and they seem to weep and they look abnormal. Have a veterinarian look at it. If you get it early and you can excise it, they typically do fine, and you don't have to do any chemotherapeutic stuff. If they get bigger, there are some things that we can give that are injectable, and you inject right into the lesion that can help with that. So, just be diligent, know your horse, know what your horse looks like, and if there's any abnormalities, especially on a pink-skinned area, just try to have those addressed as soon as you possibly can. As far as melanomas go, if you have a gray horse, it's going to get melanoma.
Right.
If you have him long enough and he gets old enough, it's not a matter of if, it's just when. Typically, I don't do anything with them. I don't, there are, you can hear things that people remove the small ones. I tend to just let them be, because sometimes if you remove them, they become more aggressive. And I call them angry, get them angry, And so certainly it's a progressive problem. And like I said, typically you'll see it around their tail head, around the, their perineum area, around their anal area.
And does that metastasize like it does with people?
Well, yeah, it'll go different places. Yeah, certainly it can go internally. Certainly they can get melanomas internally that can strangulate bowel. It shows up around their head, around their mouth. You can
more sensitive areas.
Yeah, more sensitive to areas. Certainly they can get it anywhere on their skin. And it's not kind of the same thing as melanoma on people, because, that's certainly linked to sun exposure. There's some component with the gray horse and why, and typically gray horses have black skin. So, unless it's white horse and then it has pink skin. So, and it comes up in an area first that gets the least sun exposure.
That's true, actually. So,
it's not really kind of the same that humans get as far as melanomas, because it's, there's some genetic component there with the gray and why they develop it. But, those are the most common things. And
do you come across internal tumours much on horses as far as other kinds of cancer like we'd see in dogs and people?
Oh yeah, certainly. I mean, typically it's not found unless the horse is colicking, right?
Right.
So we don't typically, look inside horses' bellies unless there's an issue, and that's when you'll find it. You'll find lipomas, which aren't cancer, but they're a fatty tumor,
right?
That can strangulate bowel and things like that, and then the melanomas can progress internally as well. They can start strangulating things and cause bad colics and things like that, and then you can see them. So that's what I would say about that is, we don't find them unless there's some reason to go looking, kind of deal,
Yeah.
So it's not like you can typically feel them on a rectal exam or anything like that. I mean, obviously you can if you have a mare that has a tumor on her ovary or things like that is acting bizarre, which made me think of that. I mean, typically if they have an ovarian tumor or ovarian problem, then those mares tend to have a certain behavior. They tend to act more aggressive. They tend to more study and that sort of thing. And then you can actually feel it. And typically those ovaries are much larger than normal. And you put an ultrasound on that, and you can see the difference. So those are generally rectified by removal of that ovary, and they do just fine after that.
Very good.
But yeah.
So you got to watch out for those greys.
Yeah,
Keep an eye.
Yep.
Dr. Adam Cayot with Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show. This portion of the Horse Talk Show is brought to you by Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Our television broadcast sponsor, Larsen Hay, Idaho's finest alfalfa, and supporting sponsors, DAC Minerals and Vitamins, Seminole Feed Stores, Lip Chip, Piranha, Pat Myers Electric, Florida HVAC Services, and Ocala Dog Ranch.
Faulty wiring is the leading cause of barn fires. I'm Pat with Pat Myers Electric. Equine facilities have special electrical needs. The knowledgeable and licensed team of electricians at Pat Myers Electric will ensure that you can achieve your vision for a beautiful, safe, and functional horse facility. From new construction to rewiring and updating, the Pat Myers Electric team is ready to jump in and help keep your horses safe. With a small farm of our own, we truly understand the unique concerns of the horse owner. Don't take chances. For all your current barn needs, go to patmyerselectric.com.
This show is brought to you in part by Seminole Feed Stores, family owned since 1934. Manufacturing fixed formula horse feeds with mindful monitoring and quality ingredients right here in Ocala in an all-natural, non-medicated feed mill. Seminole Feed, simply the world's best and safest feed. Like them on Facebook now or find them at SeminoleFeed.com.
Horses. Piranha! Oh no! Oh, the humanity! Oh, piranha.
Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care seeks to be a leading international veterinary practice that provides state-of-the-art veterinary care to their patients while fostering professional relationships with their clients that stand the test of time. For 24/7 and the best in equine care, check out Peterson and Smith at petersonsmith.com or like them on Facebook now for more information. The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hey, this is Buck Branneman. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the Horse Talk Show, presented by Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Thank you to Larsen Farms, they're our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
I'm Louisa Barton.
I'm Dancing Pete Rhoda.
And he's a year older tomorrow.
I'll be a year older tomorrow.
And actually, if you're listening on Saturday morning on 97.3 The Sky, he's already older.
That's right.
Anyway, comment below what you would like to say to Dancing Pete Roeder on his birthday, because we would love to hear from you. Anytime this week would actually be fine. We are going to switch it up here in just a minute to Chief Mike Balken. Can I just say what a great chief we have? I'm not just saying this because of the horses. He's just a great guy, and their department and all the people who have worked together to help make the mounted patrol unit downtown a reality again. I'm just so thankful for everybody that's come together in this community, and Chief is going to talk about that. But we just have a great chief of police, and not everybody is blessed with such a great leader at OPD. So we're very, very thankful to him and his foresight and all of his efforts, and everybody else who's played a part in this, and of course the Leedy family who have played a huge role in this and getting the horses, and all the other people that you're going to hear from in the next couple of segments. So here is Ocala's police chief. Brought to you by the Equine Initiative, presented by Piranha, the Horse Talk Show, and Larsen Hay.
Louisa Barton here for the Horse Talk Show and the CEP's Equine Initiative, and I am visiting with Ocala Police Department Chief Mike Balken on a very special day for the horse capital of the world. We're here in Ocala, Marion County, the official horse capital, and today is the best day, as far as I'm concerned, for OPD. Chief, pretty exciting day.
It's one of the most exciting days I've had since I've taken the helm at the police department.
I'd love to hear that.
Yeah, no. Listen, you said it. We're the horse capital of the world, right? We have a tremendous equine industry here in Ocala. For our city police department to not have a mounted police unit was mind-boggling to me. So we've been trying to get this unit up and running really for the better part of 2 or 3 years, right? We know we used to have a mounted unit that got disbanded years ago. We know the expenses that are associated with horses, the upkeep, the vet bills, the feed, right? Somebody to take care of their stalls. Everything from the saddles to the horseshoes costs a lot of money, right? And they're a unique unit that we really wanted to bring forward and put in the greater downtown area, but do it in a fiscally responsible and sustainable way. So my staff and I were able to reach out, connect with a lot of folks, a lot of supporters in the community, a lot of benefactors that were tremendously supportive to do everything from purchase the horses themselves, to get us saddles, to get the feed situation squared away, even down to the transportation, the trailer for the horses. So this 2-officer horse unit is coming to patrol the greater downtown area and service 65,000 residents now, and with no cost to the taxpayer. It couldn't be a better partnership between the police department and the community we serve. I'm extremely excited. I can't wait to see them starting to interact with the youth out at our Christmas parade during Light Up Ocala. We're going to have some great events. I'm thrilled to have them.
There's a lot of horse people who'll be listening to this right now wanting to know how you did that.
you know, to me, listen, I think it's having those connections, right? We have a lot of great partnerships out there. A lot of the people that are going to listen to this, they are our partners in the community. I think the greater majority of those folks wanted this to happen. They never wanted the original unit to go away. So to bring it back, it was, I don't want to say it was an easy ask, because it's very expensive to get this unit off the ground. But in our community, listen, we're the horse capital of the world. Our hearts lie with the industry. I don't want to say it was an easy ask for me, but certainly it was an easy give by many members of the community. I think it's having those relationships that help us complete our mission each and every day, not just with this unit, but with every unit that we run. So again, having a supportive community like we have makes my job easy. It really does. It's a great place to be a cop.
I think it was about a year ago. I looked at my phone on a Saturday morning and it was you. And I thought, well, there's 2 things going on here. He either has a horse question or I'm in big trouble.
Right.
And I was
Luckily
happy to answer.
one.
Yes, it was. Got a horse question. And, you know, you connected with Eddie Leedy, who was really a no-brainer for something like this with all of his background and experience, both with horses and law enforcement, obviously. In that choice, the Leedys have done such a phenomenal job at getting these horses here, settled, trained, and able to take on the things that go on downtown. There's a lot of excitement and commotion. They have already shown themselves to do very well with all of that. Just tell us a little bit about that choice and how important that was for you to have somebody with all that experience.
Of course, that was a no-brainer, right? An easy answer to a difficult question. I've known Eddie Leedy for my entire career. Most people know he started his career at the Marion County Sheriff's Office, worked his way, he was in the drug unit. So I've known Eddie for almost 31 years now. So when I was trying to figure out, all right, we've got to have somebody that really is a horseman, not to be sexist, but that knows the ins and outs of a horse. I know about as much about a horse as the next person. Maybe which end the hay goes in. That's about it. I know Eddie Leedy and his wife, quite frankly. I know his experience with horses. I've seen the work that he's done in the community with the sheriff's posse, working cases throughout the years. He is a man among men in the horse industry. I knew that. It was an easy choice to try to bring him on. It was easy to bring him on as a reserve police officer. He's retired from the sheriff's office. He flew through our training. He quickly was able to locate horses up, I believe, in Tennessee, work out the details to get the purchase done, get them transported down, get them acclimated to Florida, and start working them around the downtown area, getting them, make sure they had the right temperament, getting them used to car horns and different things, traffic. He's already done far more than I could have ever asked of him to do. Again, it was a no-brainer. I couldn't be more thrilled with the selection, with him, with Officer Boyer, and certainly with the horses. This has been a home run all the way around for us. Couldn't be happier.
I'm so excited. A quick shout out there for Seminole Feed Stores and Larsen Hay, Idaho's finest alfalfa. As soon as we reached out to them, they were straight on board. A great big thank you also to John Belair, of course, who have been so wonderfully helpful. I think it's the best thing you've ever done, Chief. Sorry, I'm a little one-sided on this, but we think it's fantastic.
I think it's one of the better things we've ever done at the police department. And to those folks that might see this, the folks that had any part in contributing to us getting this horse unit up off the ground, it means the world to me. I'm getting goosebumps right now just trying to, show you the heartfelt gratitude that I have, that our community is going to have once we roll them out. Thank you so much for, making my dream come true, bringing this unit back on board.
Thank you for doing this for us, Chief.
Thank you, Louisa.
Horse capital of the world, $4.3 billion industry. How much better is represented with horses in our downtown? Ocala Police Department, hats off to you for all you've done, Chief. Wonderful job.
My pleasure.
Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show.
Larsen Farms is our TV broadcast sponsor. Larsen Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa.
This hour of the Horse Talk Show is presented by Palm Chevrolet in Ocala, where the entire team is committed to making your experience in sales and service hassle-free and easier than ever with no games or gimmicks. Come in and visit on Southwest College Road or online at palmchevrolet.com. A second-to-none experience with all the amenities. Palm Chevy, find new roads.
LipChip is a company built by equestrians to make life at the barn a little easier. Equestrians, the future is here, and the future is LipChip.
This show is brought to you in part by DAC Vitamins and Minerals of Florida. DAC, it makes a world of difference. The Equine Performance and Innovative Center, situated on 30 pristine acres in the horse capital of the world, is one of the finest and most complete conditioning and rehab centers for equines and canines in the nation, including an equine hyperbaric chamber, aqua pacer, water treadmill, cold water leg spa, equine swimming pool, Eurosizer, and more. Epic equine veterinarians specializing in rehab and conditioning. For more information, go to epcrehab.com or find them on social media.
Cut through the noise and distinguish your business with a custom vehicle wrap from Smash Wraps. Get noticed with eye-catching vehicle wraps that showcase your brand's identity and earn you more business. If you're looking for a custom-designed vinyl wrap for horse trailers, box trucks, cars, or pickup trucks, for a single fleet vehicle, or for 100, no job is too big for the Smash Wraps team. Make your appointment to set your business apart today. Find us on social media or at smashwraps.com. And remember, don't just wrap it, smash wrap it.
This show was brought to you in part by TT Distributors, dedicated to bringing their customers the largest selection of quality horse supplements, products, and farrier supplies in Florida at affordable prices. Also online at ttdistributors.com.
Welcome back to the Horse Talk Show. Have you ever heard of a horse that can talk? Listen to this. With your host, Louisa Barton. She's literally in love with every horse. Presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. She's back in the saddle again. And now here's your host,
Pretty.
Louisa Barton. She's a brick, she's got the gift of the gab, and her guests are fab.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. We're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the Horse Talk Show presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larsen Farms, our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
And we wouldn't be doing the mounted unit for the Ocala Police Department Justice if we didn't do shout-outs for some of the wonderful sponsors who helped make this happen. So here's Angie from Seminole Feed.
Brought to you by the Equine Initiative, presented by Piranha, the Horse Talk Show, and Larsen Hay.
Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show and the CEP's Equine Initiative in downtown Ocala on a very, very exciting day. Today, the two police officers, horses, were pinned here with Chief Balken and our community. And our community has really stepped up to help support these horses in multiple different ways. I'm here with Angie from Seminole Feed Stores now. Angie, thank you so much. I think these horses should have the world's best feed, you know, and I think that's kind of important.
Of course.
Tell us why this is important to Seminole and having these horses in downtown here in the horse capital, what that means to you.
Well, number one, it's our home. You know, we were the first feed company here in Marion County, so anything that we can do to help our community is very near and dear to our heart, especially when it comes to horses. We do a lot of other things in the community, but our primary focus is anything for the horse. And when they had the mounted unit, when I first started at Seminole back in '99, Ocala PD had a mounted unit and we fed those horses and I was their rep. So I got to know the guys on the unit, and that was up when they were stabled at the livestock pavilion. And then that unit got disbanded, and that was very sad to me. And then we got named Horse Capital of the World, and it's like, we're Horse Capital of the World and we don't have a mounted unit. How could that be? Especially in our town. In our county, we've always had the volunteer posse. But you know, we feed units from Miami-Dade, from Coral Gables, from Sarasota, Alachua County, all over the state of Florida and into other states. But I didn't have anything to feed right here in my own town. So I can't tell you how happy we are that they've reinstituted the mounted unit again.
I think it's exciting.
I
So what
think
will they
it's
be
very
eating?
exciting. Right now they're eating our Wellness Senior Mix, and they didn't look anything like that when they first
I
came.
remember.
Oh my gosh, skinny, kind of rank, but big. And so they've got beautiful coats now. I was checking out their feet. They've got great feet. We spend time reviewing their feeding program with them, and they look rather healthy, and so we need to review that feeding program again and make some minor adjustments, because now that they're on a regular feeding program, regular work program, we want to make sure that what they're getting is appropriate.
So it's nothing better than the world's best feed to make you feel and look good, right?
Right,
So
exactly.
diet adjustments to keep them officers in good shape.
Exactly.
Well, we want to thank you. As soon as we reached out, it was instant. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You were
I
raring
can
to
remember
go.
meeting with Chief Balken. Gosh, this had to have been last year.
Yeah.
Early last year, and going and visiting with him and letting him know who we were as a company, because even though we've been here for 90 years, people that aren't in the horse business don't necessarily know who we are, and sad as imagine.
I know.
But
must be head in the sand.
No, I know. But just meeting with him and letting him know who we are and what we were willing to do for them, I think got the ball started, because feeding is it can be expensive. It's not cheap to have a horse, but to have the feed and hay taken care of, we've got Larsen stepping in and providing hay. So it's been a complete community effort.
Yeah.
And so I'm proud to be a part of this community and proud to be a part of being able to bring this into reality again.
We love it. Thank you so much for the support. We know how important it is. It's right here.
Yeah, it is right here. Yeah.
When Chief called me on Saturday morning just over a year ago and said, you know, what do you think? We're trying to get this going for real now.
Mhm.
I was just, I mean, I had goosebumps. I was
Yeah.
so excited.
Yeah.
And when I talked to Tammy, I said, it's got to be Seminole and it's got to be Larsen Hay. And then
Mhm.
those horses are going to have the best they could possibly
Yeah,
have.
yeah.
So-
We're giving them every excuse to be the best that they can be.
That's right.
So, and I like that. I like having that opportunity.
Well, we're excited.
So-
Angie and I are so thrilled and excited to have these OPD officers in our downtown in the horse capital of the world, eating the best feed, being taken care of by the best possible folks. So we're very excited. Hats off to all involved in this community. And making it possible.
Congratulations.
Yes,
Yeah.
congratulations. Louisa Barton here for the Horse Talk Show.
So Dancing Pete Roder, if you have the world's best feed, what else do you need?
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
You need the world's best hay for the mounted unit horses. So forage is extremely important and excellence matters. So here's Betsy from Larsen Farms. Brought to you by the Equine Initiative, presented by Piranha, the Horse Talk Show, and Larsen Hay.
Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show and the CEP's Equine Initiative in downtown Ocala on a very special day. A day that our 2est new police officers were pinned, and they had 4 legs, not 2, because they're horses. And we're very excited to have a mounted unit back here in downtown Ocala again for the Ocala Police Department. So hats off to everybody involved in making that happen in the horse capital of the world. We think it really, really matters. I am talking to Betsy right now from Larsen Hay. As all of you know, that is Idaho's finest alfalfa, and Timothy and all the other hay they have there.
Yes.
Betsy, it was so awesome to see you standing up there today with people who've contributed. Mr. Larsen and the team at Larsen Hay are off the charts as far as contribution to this community, and the events and the things that you support post-hurricane disasters, all sorts of things. How amazing to be feeding these horses the best hay in the world.
Well, we're so appreciative that we had the opportunity to do that through you. And you said right away, who's going to feed those horses hay? You found Seminole Feed to feed them the best feed, and you came to us for the best hay. And we're proud, so proud to feed them. You've worked tirelessly to make this happen, to help get these horses here. Chief Balken, Eddie and Tammy Leedy, all the people that made this possible, the people that donated the horses through Mary Roberts at WEC. It was a huge community effort, something we all look forward to seeing downtown, seeing those big horses downtown with those officers on them. What a great thing for our community.
It's
I can't
so
wait.
special. I
can't
know.
wait. I'm excited.
It is exciting.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. Well, we can't thank you enough. We just want to thank Larsen Hay again. We were just in North Carolina facing the terrible, sad disaster there, and we're able to take Larsen Hay to people who've been displaced and people who lost their barns and floods and all that sort of thing. And Larsen Hay was right there on the forefront of that too. So we so appreciate everything you do for this community. And I know Chief Balken and the team here are so grateful. Mr. Larsen and the team, well done.
Well, I say this all the time. I work for a really great man and a really good company. And I can only be as good as my boss, Richard Larsen, lets me be. And he lets me be the best so that I can do these things. So if it wasn't for Richard and his family and Larsen Hay, I couldn't be the person I am to help everybody. So we thank him.
Make me cry.
Yeah, you're amazing. Love you.
Louisa here with Betsy from Larsen Hay, trying not to tear up for the Horse Talk Show.
Thank you to the presenting sponsor of this portion of the show, Palm Chevrolet, and to our TV broadcast sponsor, Larsen Hay. Also, thank you to the supporting sponsors, the Equine Performance and Innovative Center, TT Distributors, Equifence of Florida, the Florida Horse Park, Smash Wraps, Nirvana Medical Spa, Equigreen, JNS Pressure Washing, Horse Vans, and Midnight Rose Equestrian.
The team of professionals at Equifence of Florida specialize in equestrian fencing. Equifence of Florida, quality fencing done right to keep your animals safe.
This show is brought to you in part by Seminole Feed Stores. Seminole Feed, simply the world's best and safest feed.
Oh, piranha.
My name is Dr. Natalie Solomon. I formulated Equigreen with cutting-edge science and technology alongside the passion that is represented by a lifelong love of horses. I created a product that I would trust for my horses because they deserve nothing but the best for their bodies. Horses rely on us to take care of them, to love them, to respect them. This is how Equigreen came to life. Equigreen, CBD for your horse that you can trust.
Does your farm need a facelift? Has the harsh Florida climate left your barns, stable doors, and fences stained? J&S Pressure Washing has a professional team who can exceed your expectations and restore your farm to its former glory. Get rid of dust and cobwebs that can cause allergies and health issues for horses, and keep your horses safe by limiting fire hazards in the barn. J&S Pressure Washing can clean your house, your barns, your fences, and your driveway, and you can count on dependable and professional services. For more information, call Steven at 352-502-5355.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
This is Charlotte Cannon, and you are listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the Horse Talk Show, presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larsen Farms, they're our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
You can always tell when we were talking about something funny, can't you? Roslyn, the pet communicator's on, and she's talking about Flynn the Mustang. Here she is. Barton here for the Horse Talk Show and Equus Television, and I am with a new friend of mine, Roslyn Moore, and she is a pet psychic, and we have been talking a little bit about the animals, the horses and the dogs and one or two other things, and we're going to kind of switch it up a little bit. We've talked a little bit about Sunny. She made me cry. My horse, no, it was a good cry. We're going to talk a little bit about Flynn, my Mustang.
Let's talk about Flynn. Okay, let's say this. So, this goes for any animal. If they don't want to talk about their past, they don't. I always ask people to not ask too much if they came from a hard past life, so that way they don't have to relive too much. But if they want you to see it and they want to spill the tea, they'll spill it. And if it's an emotional thing that they know spiritually that will help them get through stuff that maybe the trainer or the rider's not connecting, they will definitely tell to help that process. But I don't ever ask them to relive a trauma. Flynn, love him. Did he let me connect to his energy so we can make sure I'm talking to the right thing, right horse. And I'm getting 15, but I don't feel like he's 15 years old.
No, he's about 4-ish.
Okay, but he's an old soul, because he's kind of was he easy to start, which is really strange for them in a way.
Yes,
I feel like that too.
He actually colicked a couple of hours after I got him, so we had to become friends, and that was that. And everything's been easy ever since. Yeah, he does not like stress. He doesn't like too much stress because he doesn't know how to process that. I feel like he came a little bit from the wild and then was in the captivity stuff, and he kind of moved through that. So he was on his third strike when I got him, so he had been in holding for some time.
Yeah, so so a lot of his life was holding. It's almost like mom weaned holding, is it what it felt like.
That's exactly what happened. I got him when he was a yearling.
So he doesn't have the he has a foundation, but not a huge foundation, because he wasn't big enough to understand a whole bunch of horse communication in a way. He knows some things, but he was thrown in the mix with a whole bunch of other ones. So they just roughhouse figured it out, went with it. Whereas if a mayor came in with him, he wouldn't know how to horse talk to her. He would have to learn more. And that's not something that he wouldn't do. It's just something that he doesn't know. he would not want to be in a place where he's like having to fight for food either. I feel like he wasn't very healthy when you got him.
Terribly unhealthy.
Yeah.
Really bad. A lot of parasites, and that's why he colicked.
That makes sense. Because I felt like it was almost like a life or death with that colic.
He was pretty bad. He got pretty bad. He had to go to the hospital for a bit.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Not that first colic, but he actually then did it again very short time later, and some friends had to come and help me get him to the hospital, and he actually had to go to the hospital and stay for several days.
Oh wow.
Smith. Yeah.
Okay. But he's bubbly and happy. Do you ride him?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Does he know what he's doing? Does he not know?
Not well yet. We're still working. Yeah, he's had 7 or 8 months not living with me while I was getting this place ready to get him home, and he was boarding. He was boarding in a wonderful facility, but not being ridden regularly and all of that. So now we're kind of back to square one, and he's learning. You know, we're riding him, but he's learning.
Yeah, I feel like his left and his rights. He gets. So he's got a soft mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And
he's very sensitive in the mouth. He chomps the bit because his mouth is very soft, and when you put a bit in his mouth, I'm actually going to use a hackamore, I think, because he's very sensitive.
Yeah, because he needs like little motions instead of like bigger motions. He needs bigger pictures that you send him that says, yes, we're going left, but a smaller movement of like this instead of this. Just so you know, because I feel like he moves really quickly and then he slows down. Like he moves his, I say that he'll move his front legs and his back legs really quickly instead of like trying to move, if that makes sense, and like trying to get the like, what kind of turn are you trying to get me to do? It's funny because it's like when with Chester Weber yesterday would like tap with the whip just lightly, and the horse knew what to do.
Very sensitive.
He's you could. I know he doesn't know this, but he's showing me this, that he's moving off of every part of your body, your legs, your feet, your hands. And he doesn't even know that, but that's how in tune he is. And that's how he wants to be.
Well, what I'd really like to know is why he's so slow.
So
Sonny was the exact opposite. So for 29 years, I rode a Tennessee Walker who was always in the lead. So now I'm riding a horse that takes a lot of motion, a lot of leg and urging to go forward. He's not a big fan of it's good in a sense. I'm older than I was when I got Sonny, and he's a very, very young and still immature horse, so it's probably good he's not running off with me, but love to know what kind of cue would help him know I'm really trying to go forward.
He is so that's where probably the 15 comes from, because whenever you said slow, the first thing that came to me was geriatric.
Yes. He acts like he's 15.
Yeah. I mean, he is just la-di-da-di-da.
Yes.
He
acts like an old horse.
Yeah. He needs something different to get him to go forward. More like proficiently, almost like a carrot dangling in front of his face kind of thing. It needs to be like a goal. So you might have to start, okay, we're going to go to this side of the fence, and I don't feel like he'll even hardly do a trot for you.
It's a lot of work to get a trot.
Yeah.
It's a job.
Yeah. It's a
job to get a trot. And to keep a trot is a job.
Yeah. I totally feel that, because he's just not, and the funny thing is his body feels pretty good, so it's not like there's nothing on him that I feel like his body uncomfortable that he wouldn't go forward. It's just his brain and like his absolute stubbornness in a way that there's nothing that like initiate like everything that I'm showing him. I'm like, well, what if this is probably gonna have to cut this, but all right, so what if it was a helicopter? And he's like, what do you want to do, scare me to death? And I'm like, not really, but I need you to move. And whenever I ask him to move and like actually get him to move, then he kind of won't, like, he doesn't understand what that looks like or how that feels. So okay, so this might be good. Do you have a friend that can pony him?
Yeah.
And you don't have to ride him. He just needs to learn to like he doesn't have the endurance to like keep it going, nor does he have the brain.
Would be good.
Yeah, ponying him, because that way he's safe. and the person that's riding is safe, the person that's ponying is safer, because I feel like if you keep trying to nudge and do to like try to get him to go and go, it comes out in a way of like just him kind of wanting to go into a buck and play and get all like rough, and then he'll stop again. It doesn't have like that consistent. He also doesn't have that stamina.
That's true.
You can also do things on the lead line to kind of get him there, like getting him to go from like y'all trot down this line of the fence and give him a cookie. You can cookie him. He's a cookie boy.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah, he'll work for food.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then
he'll bow for food. He'll lie down for food. He'll roll over for food.
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
He'll slobber for food.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure.
He'll
like
do anything for food.
Yeah. So he's like So he
is food motivated. There is no doubt about that.
Yeah, that's why the carrot in front of his face worked really well. But that's not easy. That's not something that's like, that's not how you want to train him anyways. But you want to be, he just kind of needs to know. And he is a follower, not a leader. So Sonny is a walking horse. Right. So I'm a walking horse person. I grew up with them. Yeah. Love them.
He's a lead guy.
They're leaders. A lot of them are leaders, which is fantastic when you're a single person that wants to ride or whatever. But you can just go out on the trail and go. Flynn ain't got none of that.
No, he's
so
not.
When you have
he's a follower.
He's a follower.
Oh yeah.
So that's when another horse would come in and like with a pony and things to kind of get him to go. But the thing is even that he's always going to be a follower. You're not going to really change that about him.
Thank you to the presenting sponsor of this portion of the show, Palm Chevrolet, and to our TV broadcast sponsor, Larsen Hay. Also, thank you to the supporting sponsors, the Equine Performance and Innovative Center, TT Distributors, Equifence of Florida, the Florida Horse Park, Smash Wraps, Nirvana Medical Spa, Equigreen, JNS Pressure Washing, Horse Vans, and Midnight Rose Equestrian. Ocala Dog Ranch offers a variety of services for your dog, including agility training, barn hunt training, board and train, boarding long and short term, daycare, day training, dock diving training and competitions, disc dog, swimming lessons and pool rentals, lure coursing and obedience training classes. Check out Ocala Dog Ranch at ocaladogranch.com. Ocala Dog Ranch is your home away from home for your dog and more.
This show was brought to you in part by TT Distributors, also online at ttdistributors.com.
Cut through the noise and distinguish your business with a custom vehicle wrap from Smash Wraps. And remember, don't just wrap it, smash wrap it.
Epic Equine Veterinarians specializing in rehab and conditioning.
This hour of the Horse Talk Show is presented by Palm Chevrolet in Ocala. Palm Chevy, find new roads.
Equigreen, CBD for your horse that you can trust.
Nirvana, Ocala's premier medical spa, is leading the way in great skin with all the newest in treatment options. Become a better, brighter, and younger you.
The Pat Myers Electric team is ready to jump in and help keep your horses safe. For all your current barn needs, go to patmyerselectric.com.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the final segment of the Horse Talk Show for this week, presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larsen Farms. They are our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
I'm Louisa Barton.
I'm Dancing Pete Rhoda.
And we are switching it up to Dancing Pete Rhoda's Tip of the Week, brought to you by Wildlife Works, and here it is.
Dancing Pete's Tip of the Week, brought to you by Complementary Horsemanship. This tip is sponsored by WildlifeWorksLLC.com for your unwanted wild critters removal. Busier. Thanks, Wildlife Works. So the tip of the week is lunging. So many times I see people out warming up when I go to the World Equestrian Center or the Florida Horse Park, and they're lunging their horse for exercise, meaning they're getting what they think is the speed out of them. To me, proper lunging should be, can I flex my horse's nose slightly? Can I move the shoulder over? Can I move the hip over? Can I move the outside shoulder over? Can I bring them in? Can I get them to go faster? Can I slow them down? Can I give a half halt? All the maneuvers you're doing in the saddle, you should be doing as you're lunging. So don't just go out there and say, oh, walk, trot, and canter. Now, if that's where you're at with your horse, that's fine. But then start thinking, hey, can I move that shoulder over? Hey, can I push him out on the circle? Hey, can I move that hip over? Hey, can I move that hip over enough for him to face me and then possibly change directions without really stopping? So there's lots of things you can do while you're lunging that actually engages their mind and engages their body. So that's my tip of the week.
Makes sense to me. I see a lot of people using it just as a warm-up tool. Or even if a horse is in a new environment and they're nervous, I see it as people using it to kind of tire them out a little bit so they're not as spooky or alarmed by things. Right. And I do see that that does happen quite often. So.
Yes, ma'am.
If you own a horse, I know you probably own a dog, and although we really hope we don't have any more hurricanes, we are still officially in hurricane season, so we're going to switch it up right now to the expert, our expert, the Horse Talk Show's dog expert, Neil Hennessy from Ocala Dog Ranch. Here he is. The Horse Talk Show goes to the dogs at Ocala Dog Ranch.
And I'm Neil Hennessy, the owner of Ocala Dog Ranch, and hurricane preparedness. Just like you need to prepare for yourself to bug out, you should be prepared to have your pets go with you. Wouldn't hurt to have a bag packed, ready to go. Make sure your dogs are up to date on the vaccinations. If you're going to have to run to a shelter, you're going to have to prove that your dogs are vaccinated. Hurricanes now seem to be coming thick and fast and very strong. And we sometimes are going to have to run. Make sure your dogs are trained to be able to ride in a car, either in a crate or secured. You don't want your dogs jumping around, and you want them in a crate in case you get into an accident. You also need a copy of their documentation attached to their crate, so in case something happens to you, somebody can grab the dogs and the documentation. Also, food, medicines, anything that you would pack for yourself that is dog related, I would pack in a little to-go bag. Hurricanes, they're no fun, and that's one less thing to worry about.
Getting dogs ready for hurricanes is much like getting horses ready for hurricanes. Don't try to load them up for the first time in a crate when you're getting ready for a hurricane, just like you shouldn't load a horse in a trailer for the first time. We had a splendid weekend, by the way. Whoop, whoop. We went to the Iberian Showcase at World Equestrian Center, and it was quite a performance. I will say it's quite a thing to get a horse out there in a lot of noise and clapping and lights and sounds and everything else, but to get them performing the way they performed for this was really exceptional. Didn't you think, Pete?
Oh yes, it was a lot of fun. You could tell that people wanted to show their horses off, and there was a group of people that were in the audience that were hooping and hollering and having a good time, and that's what it's all about.
This was impressive. Now, the ropes.
Yes,
it's pretty
ma'am.
impressive. I'm always impressed by people who are that coordinated. You know I am. The dancers and the ropes, I always gets to me. I'm always thinking, wow, I would love to be that coordinated. But really was an incredible event. This is an annual event at World Equestrian Center, and it really does showcase the Iberian breeds, and it just shows you.
This is one of my favorites. This
beautiful.
Is the flamenco dancer.
Yeah.
She was amazing, and they had the guitarist and the horse out there dancing with her. It was
beautiful, wasn't it?
Wonderful.
It was a very, very beautiful performance, and there were moments that it was graceful and beautiful, and the music just fit, and then there were moments when it was exciting and fun, and we got to see Bruno and Shane Kuhn out there doing their fun, exciting. They were showing off. It was good. I was trying to find the right words. They were definitely showing off, but it was very exciting. It was action-packed, and it didn't stop. It went from performance to performance all the way to the end, and it was fantastically well done and put together.
The coolest part is when you watch these recaps, I can tell you the song, The Woman in Red. Was
The
that
Lady
one.
in Red,
The Lady
yes,
in
I
Red.
love that song. The
Yes.
Lady in Red is dancing with me. And the dancers on the ground were exceptionally talented as well, that were not even on horseback. So.
I heard they were a troupe from Chicago.
Oh, is that right? They were fantastic. They were dancing with the horses and without the horses, and they were just a really big part of it. And that's Yvonne Barteau from Horses Without Humans, and her horse was absolutely gorgeous, and just the whole performance was phenomenal.
And there was a Zorse in the background.
There was a Zorse. I did see the Zorse. Belongs to Shane Coon. I would love to have a Zorse in our parade. But the costumes, I am a costume fanatic. And the costumes, stop laughing at me. The costumes at this Iberian Showcase were like, I want to borrow those costumes. They were all just really phenomenal. Well done. Anyway, hats off to them, and we're looking forward to next year, to having them back. And if you didn't get to go see this show this time, get it on your calendar for next year. Tickets were only $20 this time, and for a 2-hour show, which really, to go to World Equestrian Center and watch performances like this for $20 is unheard of in today's prices. So definitely worth looking out for next year if you missed it this time. And if you're on the radio on 97.3 The Sky listening, go to Facebook or Equus TV and watch some of these clips that we have up on the screen, because they're really exceptional. Some exceptional riders, fantastic horsemen and women, and well done. Hats off to all the performers in it. I was blown away and really impressed. So we're going to wrap that up, and we've just got a last couple of things that we need to mention. Yes, and we do have the Horse Capital Parade coming up on November 23rd, and on November 15th at the Florida Horse Park under the covered arena, we're asking all two-legged who own a parade-safe horse to come join us for pizza at 6 p.m. with Pat Myers Electric, so that we can go over what we are going to do for the parade, so you can get instructions, and so you can show us your negative Coggins. And again, that Horse Capital Parade is November 23rd at 10 a.m. Following the national anthem, we will parade around the park. And this is for the Horse Capital Parade. Last time I'm going to mention this, November 15th, for pizza with us at 6 p.m. so we can explain to you what we're going to do on the 23rd.
Now let's go to Viva Las Vegas.
Vegas, yes. Folks, I'm looking for a costume. I'm the MC, and speaking of costumes, you know I love them. So I'm the MC for this event for Stirrups and Strides. It's their annual fundraiser. There will be what, Pete? Dancing?
Dancing.
There'll be dancing with Dancing Pete Roeder. This is on December 7th at the Mary Sue Rich Community Center, 5 to 9 p.m. I don't know anywhere you can do dinner and a show for $100.
And they're having a show this time to where they're going to have dancers, a contortionist, a magician, so it's going to be just like you're in Vegas.
It'll be a lot of fun, and Dancing Pete Roeder will be there, and he'll probably be dancing. So.
And they have an Elvis costume contest, so bring out your best Elvis for Viva Las Vegas.
So if you want to see Dancing Pete Roeder in like a white clingy suit thing.
Why do I? If I do Elvis, I'm going in all black.
We've got to wrap it up. So check out Stirrups and Strides Therapeutic Riding Center for more information on this event, and you will see us there. We got to wrap this up. Whether you are in Ocala, the horse capital of the world, or not, happy horsing around until the same time next week.
See you then.
Happy birthday, Pete.